Kaboom! Teach them. Always make sure the message reach them.
Live from Kingston, Jamaica, broadcasting around the world. You're watching the Teach Dim YouTube show. Intellectual, yet stimulating. Fair, frank, and factual. And now,
broadcasting live.
We will broadcast
live. This is Extra Class, streaming to the world and beyond.
Hey, let's go.
You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel.
Good night, everyone. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 379. For all the people in the building, big up on yourself. Next, where I did from? Yeah, son. You know what there? It's another week. I trust that everybody who is in the hearing of my voice and seeing my face, you, your family, your friends, you are doing well. You understand? You know, it's another week where I talk about some things that affect Jam Down, Jam Rock, Jamaica, land we love. Land of Food and Water, Bob Marley, Symbol, Vibes, Carter, Buju Banton, Shelly and Fraser Price, and some only more people. You know what I think? We're there, yeah, Mama and Papa. So take your hand from your jaw. We're there, yeah. Yeah, man, so the Massive and crew, big up on yourself. You see me? I'm sure that's something, yeah. In the meantime, in between time, the people that check in. You see? What may I look for? Alright. Boom, so. I get all in. Now remember these things. Drop it on the WhatsApp status, yes, so. Bam, so. Yeah, peeps. Good night, Lady Marcia. How are you? It's good to see you. And you understand, hope you and the family okay. You understand? So please, I could get into some things night to come. Big up to the ones that were there. Share the stream in the meantime now for the people that want to debut. You understand what I say, so them can check in. I'm there and teach you good. Boy, I'm there give thanks in a bro. You know, I think never normally perfect, but you understand, we're blessed just the same. We give thanks. We don't have much to complain about. Ranil Charles, big up yourself in the family. Give thanks to the Massive them when you check in. I don't know, kind of notification I go out for your stream like that to that. I don't know. But with their work said we. You understand, you know I think people them join when them join. You understand what I say? It's no crime. Up to the time. I'm sure this one more from it's no one group runner, so two post nothing runner, so like that still don't know what to say. Yes, Rasta. So news broke this afternoon that there was a plane crash, a small plane involved, crashed in St. Mary, hilly terrain in St. Mary. Mr. Fabulous, big up yourself, you know. Lancelot Reed, man has a respect in the family. You understand what I say? Now, the Civil Aviation Authority is probing the St. Mary plane crash. And the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority says its accident investigation team has been deployed to commence the field component of the probe of today's crash of a small plane in St. Mary. Now, in a statement this afternoon, the authority indicated that the aircraft, which is registered in the United States, departed the Tinsipen Aerodrome in Kingston for the Ian Fleming International Airport in St. Mary at 9:03 a.m. with 2 persons aboard. It is further stated that the plane crashed in the Ballards Valley area of Highgate at approximately 9:30. Other news outlet is saying it's kind of the Amstead area within the Unity section close to Port Maria, Highgate section, and I'm not sure. So the state agency informed that the applicable emergency response plan was activated and the search and rescue team of the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard was deployed. So the accident scene was identified approximately 11:10 a.m., the Aviation Authority stated, and the 2 persons were airlifted to the University Hospital of the West Indies, where one has since died. He has been identified as former commanding officer for the Jamaica Defense Force Air Wing Reserves, Major Dudley Beek. So the authority said that the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board have been advised pursuant to notification protocols for U.S. registered planes. And the North American and Central Caribbean Office of the International Civil Aviation Organization has also been notified of the accident. The authority says it continues to work with the JDF and other relevant authorities to conduct the necessary reconnaissance and support activities. You understand? So, unfortunately, the pilot, he is a former member of the JDF. He died at hospital. He was unresponsive when rescue personnel got there. They were airlifted by the JDF to the University Hospital of the West Indies. I'm not certain of the condition or the state of the other passenger who was on board. So not much information has been presented as it relates to that person. Hopefully the injuries sustained are not life-threatening, and that individual will recover. My sincere condolences to the family and friends and associates of the former JDF member, Mr. Beek. So another one of these very small planes crashing in Jamaica. It tends to happen quite a bit in the last decade or so. Quite a number of them. A few Cessna models has crashed. I think 2 involving the JDF. Yes, and one down at Rocky Point. There was another one in a community in Kingston not so long ago. So quite a few of them have been involved in mishaps in recent times. So, we hope for proper maintenance and due diligence in relation to these planes and these flights and such. Mahatma, blessings, my friend. How are you? So yeah, that's the situation. Now onto other things. So Jamaica, for one, as far as I know, I've enjoyed a situation where people in the media, in the press, conventional and social media, have been given full latitude to express their views on social, economic, political issues. And the press freedom has been a thing that has been enjoyed by the media for a long time. And we normally rank very high as it relates to the World Press Freedom Index. That survey is normally done by Reporters Without Borders. But the latest release has seen Jamaica dip, slip, fall, drop 20 places. To be honest with you though, on the ground, being involved in kind of the media, even though it's not conventional media, I'm not sure what specifically would have led to such a dramatic fall in such a short period of time. The report kind of hinted at a few things, but the places, the 20 places, that's kind of, you know what I mean? But Jamaica makes big drop to 32 in World Press Freedom Index. So Jamaica slipped 20 places in the World Press Freedom Index. So the 21st World Press Freedom Index was published by Reporters Without Borders, RSF, on Wednesday to mark World Press Freedom Day. The RSF noted that physical attacks on Jamaican journalists are rare, but they do happen. It pointed out that a videographer for Television Jamaica and a reporter for The Gleaner were attacked in November of 2022 while covering a teacher's protest in St. Catherine when a man interrupted their interview and damaged their equipment. If memory serves me correctly, you see, that gentleman has since died. He died in some shooting incident sometime after. I'm not entirely, but some. I think so. Don't quote me on it though. James Bond, big up yourself in the farm. MS, good night, Empress. Craig, what go on? You see me, if memory serves me correctly, I don't remember correctly, but I'm not sure, but I don't know. I have to double check and see. I know he was charged, joining from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Father Ronil Charles, big up yourself and all of the Vincent Chan. Ronil, you're Jamaican or you're Vincent Chan. But whichever way, he's a Caribbean man. You understand me? I say, oh, he died. Okay, so James say him dead. And what were the circumstances surrounding his death, James? I know me see it somewhere one at a time. Zine, so that was one instance of physical confrontation between, okay, blessings my Caribbean brother, between media personnel and citizens that attacked physical actually, and some cameras and microphone were damaged in the process. Now, apart from this incident, no acts of violence against journalists have been recorded in the past 10 years. Still, reporters must measure the threat posed by them, to them by the country's high crime rate when they're investigating sensitive subjects, it says. Yes, gang violence. Okay, respect, James. Despite the fact that journalists are generally not targeted in Jamaica, mainstream media journalists anyways, because we have seen where quite a few people in the social media space have lost their lives in recent times. Some people argue that it may or may not be related to what they do on social media, but probably things that they do outside of social media. I don't know. I can't verify that. Empress Jen, how are you? Empress, be Empress. Say, God bless. What's up? It's good to see you. Zine, so there's that. But, yeah. Interesting. I could continue. So it is important, and for me personally, the truth is that, you know, I am visible, and as such, there are certain things that, even if I think a particular way about it, I am very careful, I address it if I do address it. You understand? Because of just the nature of the space that we operate in, the crime situation in the country. Some of them not easy. You understand? It is easier for somebody who is not visible in terms of face, you understand, who is probably just a voice to address certain things. I mean, the truth is that is safer. You understand? Whilst that is so, there are certain things that we have to address just the same. And be strident and be firm and give our views, but you still, in truth, have to be mindful of the space in which you operate. But, yeah, looking at the political context for media workers, RSF said although Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has praised the country's press freedom record and repeatedly stated his commitment to uphold it, he has also previously suggested that journalists do not have to stick to the facts or truth. And that a free press enables journalists to take whatever stance they want. No, journalists should take the right stance. It's not whatever stance they want. You understand? It is the story and just the story and the truth. But, okay. It also noted that the Jamaican free press often openly criticizes officials, and journalists have occasionally reported intimidation while doing their work, especially leading up to an election. However, it says the private media sector has experienced significant growth due to the development of trade in a growing local economy, which has created an advertising market. And that part is not important. Rick Goling, blessings. The fact that the country has slipped 20 places, I am trying, to be honest with you, I've been trying to figure out all the triggers that would have led to such a dramatic decline. Some people don't see much in it. These things are important. Whilst I have not seen many instances that would have triggered such a dramatic decline, I am not even sure how the World Press Organization or how the Reporters Without Borders actually gather data. I don't know if they speak to the main media houses. I don't know how it is done. I don't know if it's just a monitoring of the news and social media and mainstream. I don't know. But I am hard pressed to find instances which suggest that our press freedom ought to have declined by 20 places. I find that strange. I know that in recent times, quite a few people have been taking social commentators to court for defamation. I don't know that would factor in. I can't say because, again, I don't know the process and the details surrounding the collection and collation and analysis of data by Reporters Without Borders, Zine. But I think that we still live in a country where media, mainstream and social media, are still given the latitude to express views, opinions, you understand, and to try as best as possible to hold our elected representatives and official and public servants accountable. There are times when people become overzealous and, you know what I mean, overstep them boundaries and start to defame people. You know, we're not condoning that. The facts, stick to them and keep the thing moving. You understand? But as it relates to me per se, you know, we're going to talk with mine, as I say, I kind of, you know what I mean, approach certain things from a certain angle more time because of the sensitive nature of it and the fact that, you know what I mean, we know the environment in which we operate in and we know, so some of them on them dark like 32 midnight. So we're not fool to the thing, but we still do the thing. And as it relates to freedom of speech, you have to understand also that you have a responsibility whilst you are free to speak the truth and to stick with the facts. You understand what I say?
Extra class of the right vibes. You have to see nature, Ellis representing in army. I say, yeah, extra class. Give the knowledge to them, of course. We love it. Yes, sir.
As we say, Father Nature, big up yourself for give thanks. You know what I mean? Beautiful song. I want to tell you, say, I want a Scotty always sing that song, a Scotty song. You understand? As speaking about Scotty, she, I don't know, she's her own big woman. You understand? I guess she probably tired still, so I don't hear from her, so I'm not even trouble her. You understand? And thing. Your blessings, Father, doing it. Yeah, man, you know, we try, you know. You understand what I say? We try to stick to a certain principle and certain value system and keep the thing vanilla and clean and them up there. Just stick to the facts. Yeah, man, so as me I say, the World Press Freedom thing there, you understand, 20 places down from so we are now ranked 32, we were ranked 12 last year. That is significant. So 32 now out of 180 countries. As I said, I'm still trying to figure out how, as I said, Lady MS said, probably they have people on the ground. Perhaps, I don't know. You understand? But I suppose we'll see, and next year we'll see what go on and them something there. There have been a few things said and done in the space that, yeah, have been cause for concern. But in general, I think that media houses still enjoy, as I said, the latitude to treat with the stories that they do. You understand? In some cases, people kind of become a little bit overzealous, and I said, you know, defamation kind of step in. That's a different story, but you know what I mean? So we are going and watch a thing. So freedom, you understand? Freedom of speech and all these things in the street. You see me? I say, So yesterday, was it? Yes. Robert Fowler, confessed killer of 20-year-old accountant Kenny Jackson. He was sentenced to life in prison and will not be eligible for parole until he has served 22 years and 11 months. And I want to say a little thing because what I have observed down the years since the conviction of Adija Azim Palmer, Vice Cartel, every sentence is made to be compared against Vibes Cartel sentence. And like that kind of played out now, to be honest with you. Vibes case is Vibes case. Every other case is every other case. You understand? One case don't necessarily have the same circumstances and players as another. You understand? I mean, there are precedents in law and case files are studied, especially when lawyers are trying to build their cases or judges are trying to come up with a sentencing. See? But what people are not understanding is that, one, Mr. Fowler pleaded guilty for whatever that is worth. We're just sticking to the facts and we're not take out the emotions out of it. See? He pleaded guilty, and under the law, pleading guilty automatically gives you a sentencing discount. See? Some judges kind of not too business based on the nature of the case, but generally. So Fowler pleaded guilty. Vibes Cartel didn't plead guilty. I see a man come and say Vibes Cartel was sentenced without the possibility of parole. Life imprisonment without the possibility. That is not true. I think Vibes is eligible for parole after serving 35 years, if memory serves me correctly. I think his parole is the longest, the time period for him. Because I think one was 30, one was 25, one was 20. I don't remember. I think his is 35. See, so me I say, okay, I mean, we love the artists. We rate the artists. I mean, that's what I say we know, just for speaking terms. You understand? But one case don't know, and if you got talk with the facts. Fowler pleaded guilty, no matter what you think about it. You understand? Vibes did not plead guilty. So as a result, it is going to state that Fowler sentence may not be as long as Cartel's. And this parole period may not be as extensive as the Cartel because of the guilty plea. You understand what I say? And also there were aggravating and mitigating factors. I suppose the aggravating factors are the fact that he killed the young lady, him carry her body, go place her on a 4-room beach and go work, then go home in the night, take the body, go dump it around a Dyke Road, then carry her stuff the next day, go dump her, throw the contents of her bag in Crossroad Market, then him have some stuff in yard, and all sorts of something. So those are the aggravating factors. Some of the mitigating factors now, the fact that he didn't have a previous conviction, he pleaded guilty as early as was possible, so sparing the court's time and resources. So these, I am no legal luminary or expert in law, but me observe and I try to learn from these things. You understand? So should he have been sentenced to life without the possibility of parole? Why not? You understand? But he wasn't. You understand? So now we need to look and try to learn as to why he wasn't. You understand what I say? So a lot of these things are teaching experiences, but we don't like to learn. I don't think we are as a people, we love learning. We just like to stick to what we know and beat it till it's dead. You understand? So I could just try to assess the situation from, you know what I mean, an open mind. So Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey, in banishing St. Catherine mechanic Robert Fowler to life in prison for the killing of 20-year-old accountant Kenneth Jackson, said the man, who will not be able to apply for parole before he is 74 years old, used the trust of the young woman and abused it, brutally murdering her. So the death of every Jamaican is significant, but this particular crime sees the loss of a young woman and seemingly promising life. Somebody who was working and attempting to study, Justice Pusey said, noting that the callous act had shocked the nation very much. Jackson, a resident of Independence City in Portmore, St. Catherine, went missing on March 24th, 2021, after leaving home for work. Her body was found in a ditch on the Dyke Road in St. Catherine 2 days later. Shortly after, Fowler, with whom she had traveled to work at times, was arrested and charged. Now on Thursday, Justice Pusey, in stating that Fowler could not be sentenced to less than life behind bars for the brutality of the murder, took pains to point out that although parole was prescribed under law, Fowler, when that time comes, will have to show that he has in some way amended his ways and has acted in a way that shows he is suitable to rejoin society, meaning he'll be 74. Chances are, him guilt probably kill him before that. Him parole, never mind. Right, but we'll pick up. Furthermore, he emphasized that even if the parole board finds he is suitable, he would be supervised. So even if he's released, he will be under supervision, based on what the judge is saying. In a deftly handled sentencing exercise, the judge, from a starting point of 20 years, added 12 years for the aggravating factor. So the starting point was 20 years. The judge now added 12 years for the aggravating factors, which I kind of alluded to earlier, subtracting for the mitigating factors, which included the mechanic's guilty plea, as I said earlier, lack of prior conviction, as I said earlier, good character. Well, I guess that is what the antecedent, the social inquiry report suggested, that he's of good character, and the 2 years already spent in custody, arriving at 22 years and 11 months. This is a case in which a sentence will be a life sentence, and the reason for that is there was ample and compelling evidence. he was a person of interest from the outset, when Jackson was only reported as missing. The scratches on his back, the items found at his home belonging to her, along with other material, Justice Pusey said, noting that even before forensic testing indicated that Fowler was a person of interest, there was strong circumstantial evidence. We'll go back to that something there, circumstantial evidence. You know, a part of the vibes conversation is that, nobody was ever found. But many a case have been wrapped up and convictions handed down, and circumstantial evidence is just the nature of the beast. You understand what I say? So let us not pretend like we don't know other cases like that have happened and are happening and will happen. You understand what I say? But we love flag a dead horse, I guess. Now, I could continue. So Justice Pusey said, noting that, under the Offences Against a Person Act, Fowler could not be sentenced to less than 15 years or a life imprisonment with parole. Now, Justice Pusey was at pains to point out that although Fowler had admitted guilt in the murder, the court was not minded to give him the full discount. So here, when you plead guilty, you are entitled to, I think, a 30% sentencing discount. However, this judge was not in the mood to grant him the full 30%. You see the pre? So the court of law and the court of public opinion, as I've been saying many a times, are two different places, family. So we could learn some things. So. You understand? You know why the judge never give him the full discount? Because he was never, at no point in time, remorseful about the incident. He was void of emotions at sentencing, probably during the trial, and probably during the social inquiry report. He showed no signs of remorse. You understand? So as a result, the judge decided not to grant him the full spectrum of the sentencing, the guilty plea discount. Yeah? He said the court could not accept Fowler's indication of remorse, as he appeared to be attempting to shift blame from himself, contrary to his initial admission of guilt, pointing out that in the social inquiry report, Fowler admitted to a different version of events than what was in his caution statement. I suspect that. And made mention of the presence of a third party. Man, I tried to change the story. Justice Pusey said, in coming to his decision, the court considered the loss and grief caused by the crime, the peculiarity of the crime, and the circumstances of the accused. The judge, in the meantime, noted that the serious societal implication of the crime is that it has led young women to believe that they cannot accept an act of kindness from a neighbor without losing their life. He said Fowler's action strikes at what is essential to us as Jamaican people, as a society, which, with all our faults, is very friendly and helpful. This is a young lady who believed this was a neighbor who was helping her. I am sure that Mr. Fowler had romantic implications towards the young lady. You understand? Even though he admitted that there was never anything romantic about the friendship, I am absolutely sure somewhere, somehow along the line, he had desires. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right, but I could continue. He never said that, and this is just me speaking now, so I don't know. Yes. Fowler, clad in a blue shirt, black short pants and slippers, sat erect, barely moving, his arms folded across his midsection at times and draped between his legs. His masked face indestructible, but for his forward brows. By his own admission, Fowler had said that on the day in question, and listen what going on now, he picked up Jackson on Passageford Drive in Portmore. He said during the journey, they quarreled over a promise he had made 3 weeks prior to give her money to buy something for her boyfriend's birthday. Jaja. Ah, boy. So he's saying that the quarrel started because 3 weeks prior, he had promised her some money, which she had intended to use to purchase something for her boyfriend. He claimed he had defaulted on the pledge because he was under pressure at work and things had been hard for him. So explain that, my G. So here we go on. Empress, you know, so me now can't give you the money when me did promise her because the thing no look good at work, you know. So it's either me give you next time or me no bother give you because me not have it. You understand? I don't believe him. Well, me don't know enough soul music. Me only can work with what I'm say. You understand? So that is what I'm say. Say him did promise her some money. So I guess now that led to the quarrel and he apparently snapped. I don't know. So I could continue. He said during the journey, they quarreled over a promise he had made 3 weeks prior to give her money to buy something for her boyfriend's birthday. He claimed, we said that already. He said when the argument continued, he turned his car around and told Jackson to take a bus to work. Fowler claimed that he then parked the vehicle on the road to Caymanas. So if you tell her to come out and take tax bus, then make sure come out and take the bus, no, G. And nothing wrong with that. You understand? But after he turned around the vehicle and parked it, he climbed from his seat to the back seat of the car, drew Jackson over and strangled her until he saw froth coming from her mouth and she stopped moving. So right at roadside, so in a carriage, boy, sit away. He then drove the vehicle with her body to Forum Fishing Village, where he bounded the hands and feet and left the body in an abandoned building. Whole day, man, gonna work, you know. About 7:30 that same evening, he went back for the body, placed it in his vehicle, and took it to the Dyke Road, where he left it in a ditch. So the man left and go work, you know, brother. Left the body, go work, come back, go for the body. The following morning, he took her handbag to the market in Crossroads, St. Andrew, where he emptied the contents into a garbage bin. Yo, Jaja. Why would he want to give her money to buy a present for another man? I don't know. I mean, that is his story. Unfortunately, we will never hear Kanice's side of the story. You understand? And the truth is, though, you know, even though it may sound strange, he seemed to have told investigators how the thing go down from day one, you know. I mean, eventually him start say some different things. But I don't know that him not talk the truth here so either, because he seemed to have been honest enough in what he said in the caution statement and the confession that he gave. So I don't know. But that is the situation. Sad situation. See, and there are lessons to be learned here for everybody. And I trust that these lessons will not go unnoticed and be lost on us. The first story was about tools, but who gave that story though? Was that his story, or it was said that is the situation? Good night, Jaro, where I did. Empress Moonlight, what go on? Yeah. No, Kanice's family will spend a lifetime mourning her loss. And I suppose Fowler's family will also mourn, because this basically lose him now, you know. He may never go home again. He's 54 now. He will have to serve 22 years. So he won't be eligible for parole until he's 74. And based on the life expectancy situation in Jamaica, which I'll treat with earlier. Yeah, man, but good enough, Empress Moonlight. We are going to give thanks, you know. Yeah, so I say, everything not perfect, but most things on a level, we give thanks. You see it? So 2 families are mourning for different reasons. Yeah, son, it's really sad. You see me? It's really sad whenever a single Jamaican is killed. See, it's a sad situation. Both families, the victim and the accused, will suffer. See, so sad. Very sad. So that's one case that has been disposed of, Zine, and lessons are there to be learned. You understand what I say? We are living in a serious time. Ah, boy. No, I have covered quite a number of stories where people have been killed or injured allegedly by family members or by people hired by family members in land dispute or property dispute, quote unquote, dead left. Many people have dead. More that. Many people dead left. Me can't English up that. Me can't Englishize that. Many people dead left. Many people have died fighting over dead left. The irony is serious. You understand? Now, the Ministry of Justice has said that they plan to treat with some of these situations by selling these properties and splitting the money as long as an agreement can be reached between the parties and who forget what and them something. You understand? Because some people never help, some people do nothing at all, and when some people dead, some people decide that they want everything. And most of the people who would have played the greatest role in the deceased's life, people are trying to push them out of the thing. You understand what I say? So it is good for your parents when they pass, something can be passed down to you. But sometimes it is a blessing that some of the people them not have nothing to, you know. Because you're good as lose your life over it. So sometimes when the people them not really have nothing, it's sad like pan a local level because well, you know, I lost my mom. She never really have nothing. And my father didn't have nothing either. You understand? Not that me wouldn't really interested making give to him other kids them. But sometimes you have some people out there when them parents move past on. It's a blessing because I tell you, said them would them pass on very shortly for them parents because when people hear say people, I have known people who somebody died in the morning and the war start for the car and the house and the land in the day. People then did in the morning and the family then start fight as soon as the funeral home come collect your body, you know. Charles Scott, blessings family. Go on. You understand? So, $50 billion dead left dispute. So there are a number of active disputes between family members fighting over dead left. Over $50 billion in property. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is advising the Administrator General's Department to take steps to sell properties worth tens of billions of dollars tied up with the agency for years, owing to lingering disputes among beneficiaries. Because many people die before having a will done. See? And in some cases, when the will done, some people are really will to the will. Not willing to the will of the will. Them still want everything for themselves. Sorry, guys. You understand what I'm saying? So, in his contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday, Chuck revealed that up to the end of March this year, the Administrator General's Department was managing more than $50 billion in properties that belong to persons who died without making a will. Eh? Yes, Mr. Fabulous, I would assume as much. You understand? Indicating that the prolonged management of the $50 billion in property was not sustainable. It couldn't be sustainable because you have to spend money to keep it going. Chuck said it places a heavy burden on the Administrator General's Department. The Justice Minister urged beneficiaries of these properties to settle their differences and end the protracted dispute over dead left. And what is important is for the Administrator General to get the beneficiaries using mediation to agree as to how they will share the property. If somebody dead and no will not there, and a two people you think for share thing 50-50 man. If a three people then you split it 33.33, you understand? If a four people then you split it 25% and you do the thing and everybody all right. Empress Bernadine, good night. How are you? Yeah? Glenroy, Bolo, manners and respect in a family. You understand? People lose all sense of fairness and equity when it come on to them. Everybody want to grab everything for themselves. Make somebody else live to man. Jaja. He said that once the properties remain undistributed, they tend to deteriorate. It's true. For example, if you have a house and nobody don't live in there for a while, it start to pop down because apparently your breathing helps to sustain the house. I've heard that. So them busy a fight, nobody can live in there, and while them a fight, the house are rotten down. You understand? Sell the house and split the money, man. Then everybody then. But then even when you sell the house, some people want more money than some. Crazy. But some people have 10 children and also brothers and sisters. They will supersede children. Just all pointless. Why? Which is true. I get you. But if you split 10 ways, then man, work it out. You get your little, them get them little, them get them little. If I saw a thing, figure then. You understand? None of them never do nothing for contribute to them property there and them sitting there, and then they want the whole property. Some of them figure to man, however, my aunt and uncle who had more than my father wanted to steal the little. That too. Yeah. I've said when people, you see people dead enough. People don't too ball these days, and people are trying to look at how them can capture piece of land and take 2 car and 2 goat, you know. I just say thing, brother. So boy, I mean, tell you say right now, no bill no will. From early, if you edit it as you go along. Because the truth of the matter is, most of us don't sit down and think about our mortality, and many a times, whilst in the prime of life, nobody now contemplate no will and final testament. Everybody just live their life. And things happen. You lose your life, unfortunately, untimely, and your whole family mess up. Because someone fight over where you're dead left. You understand? You are in the wrong place at the wrong time and you are murdered. You're in an accident and you die, unfortunately. You understand what I say? Illness. You're sick and you're dead. And you never plan for sick and dead. You never plan for in an accident. You never plan for get shot around another part there. So nobody now to pre no will, especially in them prime like. You understand? So these things happen. You see? And some people have enough money about you. You feel like said enough money about you. So sometimes some man left some estate where very estatey. You understand? So make we continue. Yes. In a follow-up interview, Chuck revealed that one estate among the properties being managed by the AGD is valued at $800 million. One estate, one property. He said the beneficiaries have not come to an agreement on how the property should be shared. You understand? If the beneficiaries in each estate agree as to how the estate should be shared, then there is no problem. You just distribute it. But especially with an estate that has real property, my instruction is rather than allowing the real estate to deteriorate, sell the real estate, collect the funds, and then distribute it at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with that. I agree with that too. He said that the administrator and executor have total control over how to determine how properties are sold or exchanged. Now, attorney at law Nigel Jones indicated that he would support legislative changes to allow the AGD to sell the properties and share the proceeds among the beneficiaries. I agree with that too. It's a great idea if they get around to doing so, because I guess that would help to resolve the issue that they are having. So it is something that ought to be supported, and it is an effort that could be lauded, Jones said. Now, at a 2016 Gleaner Editors Forum, a team from the AGD reported that the agency was managing cash worth an estimated $2 billion, cash, and property valued at $10 billion. With the properties now being managed by AGD valued at more than $50 billion, this represents a 400% increase over the value of the estates in 2016. The number of cases is about a few more than 3,000. So about 3,000 cases tied up in another $50 billion here. The value is at least $10 billion in properties. Patrick Wright, then Finance and Planning Executive at the AGD said that was in 2015. That's a lot of money. You understand? And with money and land, people turn fool. You understand? People all kill them family, people hire people to kill them family. A lot of that go on in this country. You see me I say? Everybody wanna sit down and work out the thing. How many people for benefit? Work out the thing and everybody benefit and keep the thing moving. You understand what I say? If I true dope in a real, because if some of them for box down some of the you know. One they are ball about foolishness. So every time when you start crying, dope then just box on down. On these on yourself. You understand? Jerome, big up yourself in the family. In dopey business, you ain't talk about dopey, the dopey they now do no good work. The box down some people, man, and they run there fight for land. Every time they go up on the land, they box them down. They nobody go run there. Every time they start, you box on everybody. No one, everybody get boxing on, but then dopey and now do no dopey work. Then cool, your eyes freeze them. You understand? No good dopey, no make again. Yeah, that's the situation. Some cool dopey. Then dopey can't even frighten nobody these days. You understand? And people are fight over land and money. One box. And dumb them for all 2 days. You understand? You talk back and start about one more box. Anytime you stop cuss about land, I tap box. You understand? And full dopey them. Alright, so I'm going to talk about some people. Yes, the land business, a dead left sitting here, it's a serious thing. Many family fight a funeral and 9 night and dead yard and during the mourning process because of dead left. You understand? But teach, if the property worth 800 million, if you split it across 20 people, everybody still eat a food. You understand me? I say moonlight. Some people not even deserve a food, they go eat a food, you know. But people too greedy. You understand me? I say, eat a food, man, and keep the thing moving. And I say people, and I doubt that is a 20 people splitting them. It could have probably a 10, you know. And then still did they fight over land and the property did they deteriorate and degrade and lose value. You understand? No. Strange. Dead left. I'm going to tell you some things can be a blessing and a curse, you know, because, you know, a lot of people build wealth out of that something, you know, but a lot of people lose them life too. You understand? So it has worked out good in some people who are smart and some people are fool and dead left it too. So you dead left, and then who come after you are dead left, everybody is a dead. Green Lantern. When I talk about Justice League now. You understand? I want to let the Green Lantern is my favorite character in a Justice League team. When I was a boy, you understand? My mother passed December 24th and was buried January 20th. I don't know why she don't box stuff my big. Father Charles, my condolences with the passing of your mom and thing. You want to sound like some little issue that. So look, it's rather that part still. Moment I beat up our youths, them man. You know what think. You know, a mother's love is a different type of love. You understand? The hope, whatever your big brother do still, he sort out himself still before he get a box. You understand? Aye, sir. Green Lantern. The rifle causing mayhem in Kingston. The man them call the rifle Green Lantern. You understand? So apparently it caused some problem around one part. An illegal rifle dubbed Green Lantern, which was reportedly taken by opposing factions following a murder on New Year's Day on Sunlight Street, is allegedly helping to spur a war between gangs in West Kingston. Residents said that Green Lantern was clamped by opposing gangsters after it fell from the clutches of thugs who went to Sunlight Street on New Year's Day where they murdered an elderly man. It is widely believed that the rifle is now being used to bolster the defense of the opposing gang. When you hear this, when you want to go on another part, serious business, you know? Jaja. You want to hear, you want to hear it one night. And the Green Lantern make the war eat up. The man them want it back. And the man them nah send it back. And it them and you take them on. Shot a fire from Sunday till now. A whole heap of shots, a resident said. Now, Senior Superintendent Michael Phipps, commander for the Kingston West Police Division, said lawmen have heard about the rifle. Just like you, we have been hearing information about the disappearance or taking of a rifle from one gang by the other gang, and so on. But we haven't had any evidence to substantiate that. We have spoken to a number of persons in the community, and they have denied any knowledge about that. I'm sure they would tell him, Mr. Phipps. But it is something we have heard of before. He said his men will continue to occupy and dominate the space because we don't want the violence to continue. Recently, there have been several reports of shootouts between gangsters in the area. Now, police have also linked a murder that was committed in St. Catherine last Thursday to the conflict. In that incident, 38-year-old Kenyatta Davis, Keith's son, a warehouse attendant, well, I guess he's also called Keith's son, or is it the elderly man that died? Them they tell me his name, because now it kind of makes sense. Them just say elderly man. Alright. A warehouse attendant of Sunlight Street was gunned down in Twickenham Park, Spanish Town. So reports are at about 6:45 a.m. Davis was walking along the roadway when he was pounced upon by a gunman traveling on a motorcycle. Phipps said that Davis's family is being targeted because of its blood ties to Shadane Mackenzie, otherwise called Philippine, who is wanted by the police for murders and shootings. Oh. It was one gang. Our Sunlight Street was one, and there was a split in the gang. Oh. Some men went with another one they called Jacka Diamond, and the others went with Shadane. Since then, we have heard they have been trying to rid the community of Shadane and his family, Phipps said. We have seen where a number of them have been killed or otherwise shot and injured. Serious business, isn't it? This is serious business. So apparently, some man where did own Green Lantern go kill one man New Year's Day and them drop the rifle, and the opposing faction took the rifle and started using it against the original owners of the rifle. Now the original owners of the rifle, so them want back them rifle. The man them will take the rifle, where get the rifle or find the rifle or seize the rifle, so them now give them back the rifle. So what?
5 and 4, 9 and Mr. 1 make 10. The Admiral Tibet as Mr. Reality introducing to you. Teach them, no matter how far them they are reach them. Listen to this. Classic. We are living in a serious time. Yes. Don't let the devil blow your mind. The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous. Yes. It's only in the Father. Teach them put his trust. The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous.
Move.
Said all over the world, everyone is in a heated rush. On a bet, it's not everything good for eat, good for talk. I don't just know shadows after dark. They will walk and talk, eat and drink with you. Pretend as if they're all with you, but I won't let no one on me.
Very important rifle indeed, Jara.
For when you think it's peace and safety, it's some distraction. The time is so serious.
Cantankerous and
Dangerous. It's only in the Father. Teach them put his trust.
straight foolish this moonlight.
The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous.
Serious time we're living in.
Said all over the world, everyone is in a heated rush.
I'm always on the alert. And I want to tell you, a whole heap of similar situations are going on in some communities in the moonlight. So this is just a snapshot of what are going on in some other communities,
And the little children got no mother, no father, no. Nothing to earn. The more they live is the more they learn. The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous. Yes. It's only in the Father. Teach them put this trust. The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous. Said all over the world, everyone is in a heated Teach them.
Speaking about all over the world, everyone is in a heated rush. We know that there has been a war in Ukraine, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that is still ongoing. But we're seeing where basically civil war has broken out in Sudan. The last time I heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kamina Johnson-Smith, says, as far as her knowledge goes, there are no Jamaicans in the Sudanese region where the fighting is taking place at this point in time. We're seeing where, not very far from us, Haiti is practically in a civil war, if you want to call it that. Some people may say that kind of look extreme teach, but that's basically what's going on over there. So it's war, and rumors of war. In Jamaica right now, some communities have been at war from Wapi Kill Philip, from the devil was a boy. You understand what I say? And these communities are still warring with each other. It's just war. Like there's just no love locally, regionally, internationally, globally anymore. It's just war. Like everybody blood at. Everybody head just at so. You understand? Me don't know what go on.
Yeah, this is nature, Ellison. When I look in the east, west, north, and south, I want program control all about, and it is extra class. Yeah, if you're not into extra class, you don't know you must be lost. Yeah, talking about, yeah.
I'm reading news, I'm depressed. Me not bother read it Wednesday. You understand what I say? Skip a day. And I read it, that's why I'm going to read it Wednesday. So I want to tell us a Wednesday. I was reading, me depressed on Monday and Tuesday for true, and I tell you the truth. And you will go on Wednesday now. I read the news and it just not flow. Like, I just not feel it. I'm take a break. Like, I read about 10 minutes out of the news, you know. I'm take a break and say, yo, I not feel it. Zine, Amir's mommy never come home and I call her. I think we were talking on the phone. I tell her, I say, babes, you know, I not feel the news. You understand? You know, she had tried push me and thing. And I say, I take a break. So I take a break and do some good things. And so I go back and read the news. So I start reading the news and now, in about 7-8 minutes of news, and I realize, no, you teach and I press record it, you know. I just pack up everything, you know. Gone about my business. So that's why. But Monday news and Tuesday news, Jaja. Empress Denise, good night. Good to see you. You know, I appreciate the continued support very much. And I also appreciate the financial contribution. Big up yourself. You understand? You see? Auntie, it differs in one. The amount of murder I cover Monday and Tuesday. See? The murder rate as at April 30 was what? 406 murders. They say it's a 16% decrease compared to the corresponding period last year. You understand? And yes, so the statistics say, you know, we have been saying, the statistics say one, but you know, I feel that on the ground. I'm not dispute the accuracy of the statistics, and I'm just saying 406 murders in January, February, March, April, 4 months is a lot. Yeah, it's 100 and much murder that per month, you know. 101, 102 murder per month and average that, you know, brother. You understand what I say? We can't continue so fam. Zane, we can't continue like that. It is depressing, man, me I tell you. Yes, and Monday there were murder stories that me not even know about when me I script the news. Zane, me soon talk about that bro, when me I script the news. And then Tuesday when me I script the news, there were other murder stories that me never know about. Depressing, man. Like, so Wednesday me I try read, me not feel no vibes, family. You understand? Until me did it till no news somebody go on. You understand? Yeah, man, Sharika lost today, but I wouldn't worry about that. I suppose Sharika is where Frano want her to be at this point in time. You understand? Winning on the Diamond League now is good, Zane, but when they line up in Budapest for the Worlds, then we see the true metal of everybody, and some people are run very fast, very early in the season. I don't know how sustainable that is up to Worlds. No medals are given out in the Diamond League. I mean, you win, you make some money, yes, but Jacka make money. You understand? And I mean, 10-7-6 for Shakara win with Jacka can run that closing her eyes for most days. So I mean, well done to Shakari. It is good for the sports that she with her personality and whatever else come with her, I think it's good for the sports as long as she stay focused and she will push the Jamaican girls. And then you have the likes of Dina Asher Smith. Also, you can't write her off. You understand what I say? And the other Americans. You see? So, I mean, it's good for the sports. So I'm sure Jacko is okay. She will be fine and she will beat Shakari many times in the future to come. I mean, it happens. You understand? So when it come down to worlds now, we say who is who. And the sheep are separated from the goats. You understand? So yeah, man, big up Shakari, good race. You understand? Her closing speed was very impressive. 10.76 is no nothing to scoff at. A big woman time that. And then sitting there. So we are going to watch. Very good for the sport. So we continue now. Yeah, I kind of need that for kind of break the little thing. Like I say, yo, Jaja. No, you know, so every time government agencies or the government, the police force, the military, other people who are on the government payroll mess up, is me and you have to foot the bill. Government pays out 500 and when the government wrong people, then for pay for you, don't get me wrong. But say, we don't love the government for wrong people less. Because the $530 million here couldn't go in adding some resources to the education sector, adding some resources to the health sector, try to improve some hospitals and get some equipment for some hospital, or invest in the JCF to boost their crime fighting agenda, and all of these things, you understand? But when they mess up them for pay, but say, more than one, they mess up less because taxpayers are feel it. You see it? Jamaican government pays out $530 million to settle court judgments, says Struck. So the Jamaican and the sectorial presentations were very informative. Chang did his one of them time, Chuck did his, Tufton did his, Zane, the tourism minister did his. I've been looking on. We get to watch them still, but looking, and the information presented with some very interesting things were said by all of them. So we are going to watch and see. So the Jamaican government, through the Ministry of Justice, paid out $530 million in judgment debts for 193 matters during the 2022-2023 fiscal year. That's over $500 million. At the same time, a total of $680 million was approved for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024. So the bill for this fiscal year even higher than the bill for last fiscal year. This was noted by Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck as he made his contribution to the 2023-2024 sectorial debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. We are happy. I don't know how happy I am about that, Mr. Chuck. So I know you happy about this. We are happy to inform Jamaicans that all judgment matters received during the fiscal year were honored. Yes, and I don't know what is in this to be happy about. Happy for the people that want to wrong and not to pay them. But as taxpayers, I don't like it. I don't love it. Yes, and meanwhile, Chuck told the House that the Legal Aid Council continues to bridge the gap between the disenfranchised and the access to quality legal services. He said that for the 2022-2023 fiscal year, the council, with the assistance of empaneled attorneys, achieved the disposal of 2,388 court cases. That doesn't sound bad still. We give thanks. The council provided representation for a total of 5,809 court cases, with 2,917 of these cases representing duty counsel assignments and 2,892 representing legal aid assistance. He said that the Legal Aid Council continues to maintain within its purview mentally challenged inmates remanded at the island's penal institutions, and last year afforded legal representation for 148 of these inmates. Now, the Justice Minister said that the Council intends to provide legal representation to more mentally challenged inmates for the current year and will be providing targeted services to persons with disabilities. That sounds all right. I have no problem with that. Additionally, the Legal Aid Council has expanded access to legal aid through outreach and sensitization programs. These include the monthly dispatch of the justice mobile units and so on and so forth. We'll get into all of that. But yeah, $530 million could be better spent. We don't need to stop wrong people. All of the agencies and entities that are abusing power, you understand, and not doing things by the books are costing taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. In this case, $530 million. Think about it, $530 million. Imagine the things that you, where watch me now, where see me now, could do with $530 million. I can think of a few things I could do with $530 million. As a matter, just give me 30 mil. Me will make life out of it. You understand? Me work with that. You see it? Me not ask for nothing else. Just give me 30. Me not ask for nothing more. You never see me ask for nothing. Just give me 30 mil and me go work it out. $530 million. Yeah. Could be better spent. So whilst when them fool around people and do things the wrong way, them for pay for, we want them fool around less people. You understand? So them pay less. Payment should come out of the people involved, paychecks or retirement. Interesting. Nothing wrong with that, you know, but it not gonna happen, unfortunately. Well, it could, but will it? That's the next story. You understand? I saw. No, there was I streamed Friday night, and on Saturday there was another robbery attempt of a Beryllium team in St. Thomas. A security guard was shot and injured. Apparently his injuries are not life-threatening. He was shot in the back. And these things. So, you know, the fallout continues. There was a shortage of cash at many ATMs over the weekend, and many banks are suggesting that they will start to reduce the number of ATMs on their network because it is becoming very difficult and expensive to keep servicing them because of these attacks. There was a meeting between Fitz Bailey, who is Deputy Commissioner in charge of the crime portfolio, and members of the private security landscape. There was a meeting before as well, Zine, because me have stuff from that meeting. Me just never get to post them, Zine, at the time. So meetings taking place. No. I saw in a few instances where the JCF and in one instance the JDF provided assistance to Beryllium teams trying to load machines. That is not sustainable. It's not a police or military situation. It's a private thing. So while some assistance can be rendered a 1 and 2 time, the private security firms need to work out them thing. You understand? It's not a police or military issue situation. So there's that. But the Minister of National Security now, though, is saying that legislative changes are coming to allow specialized training for security guards. So I guess one of the things coming out of some of these meetings is that some of the guards need more specialized training, and as such, I don't know if they will be training with the JCF or they will be training with the military. Make a read and see what goes on now. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Strong says the government will be accelerating legislative changes to allow for the specialized training of security guards. This as part of its response to the recent spate of attacks by gunmen on Beryllium courier vehicles transporting large sums of cash. So the National Security Minister says the operational standards in transporting cash are to be strengthened immediately. He made a statement at a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday morning. This will be facilitated through the amendment of the Private Security Regulations Authority (PSRA) Act. Now, the announced changes follows a meeting involving government officials, members of the JCF High Command, and representatives of private security industry on Tuesday. That's the meeting I was talking about. Another meeting is set for later this week. I don't know if it happened. Tuesday was one meeting, and then the other meeting is when we have things from. I'm not sure. See? Yeah. Now, according to Minister Chang, 2.7 million transactions are done at ATMs each month. This, he says, facilitates the movement of billions of dollars in the economy and underscores the importance of addressing these attacks as a matter of urgency. Noting how the attacks have altered the mood and confidence of the public, the minister says criminals will not be allowed to disrupt economic activity, disenfranchise workers and the small business people. And Dr. Chang has disclosed that police intelligence indicates the attacks are being carried out by an organized group of criminals, saying that most of those who were arrested in relation to the Portmore situation, they have been released because they were not identified during ID parades. I think yeah. So, I don't know. So, yeah. Mr. Overton, I say, them apply to the government to get high-powered weapons. They're waiting on a response there. So, I don't know. No, brother, if them wanted police to watch for Beryllium, they should hire off-duties. Yeah, man. That not sustainable, Peter. Me agree. You understand? So, that will not be an ongoing thing. I don't think it will be an ongoing thing, but we'll see. It's serious, but you know what the strange thing about it? Strange. This feeling I'm feeling. Oh, you know more that tune there. Oh, your love we will always believe in. You have Hawkeye, you have King Alarms, you have other security companies, but it's just Beryllium who are being attacked. So are they being targeted? What happened to the other security company? They do not move cash from point A to point B to? Alright, Moonlight, I say a word, man. Give thanks. Sorry that you have to go, but you see me? If you feel that way, you understand, you have to do what's best for you. You see me? And thing. You just have, point out some of the things that may go on in the country. Serious place. You see me? So, I don't know what go on around other part there, because yeah. There has also been the creation of a special investigative team within the JCF to treat with these Beryllium situation, investigation and pursuing suspects and stuff. So we'll keep an eye on that. We love create committee and team and group and things around here, and nothing really come out of them sometimes. So I could watch. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and we see what go on. You understand? Yep. Strange this feeling I'm feeling. Integrity Commission recommends action against former Spanish Town High Principal and Bursa. I will tell you, see, that in these schools, in Jamaica land we love, some things happen within the Bursa department of these schools. You see? If night should turn today, a lot of Bursas would have to run away. A lot of Bursas have been charged in the past for misappropriation of funds, unaccounted for funds, disappearing funds. I know Bursas who have had to relocate, run away, you understand, migrate, because the school, and as I said, the sector in this country that is raped the most is the education sector. So think about what that will do to the country in the long run. If at the Ministry of Education, within the schools, education is being raped, the left, right, and center, what is going to happen to the education sector when it is raped and ravaged? Eh? The Integrity Commission has recommended that disciplinary action be taken against the former principal of the Spanish Town High School, Clayton Hall. I think Clayton Hall was also a JTA president at one point in time, if memory serves me correctly. Zane and Bursa Derenica Williams, following an investigation into allegations of impropriety and irregularity surrounding construction activities at the school in 2014. The commission proposed an audit of the financial transactions to determine the extent of any loss which may have been occasioned by the breach of Section 19 of the Financial Administration Audit Act, and for these funds to be recovered from the accountable officer and any other officers responsible, consistent with Section 20 of the Reference Act, if they are still employed in the public service. In its report, the Integrity Commission, them is the next one, but I could go on talk, stated that Hall, in his capacity as accounting officer, failed to ensure that applicable procurement, financial, and accounting policies and procedures were followed during the project's completion. This dereliction of duty, the Commission said, breached Section 19 of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Hall, who is a former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, as I said earlier, I never remember if it was factual, but I think he was, resigned from the school in August of 2015. Ahead of a follow-up he did. I didn't know. Ahead of a follow-up inspectorate report, which had initially branded the school as among 5 in need of immediate support. So technically, it was deemed as a failing school. That is what that means in the long and short of it. You understand? And thing, I have been at schools that have been, the inspectorate has been there before, so I kind of know how things kind of work. You understand what I say? Yeah. Make we continue. Right. At that time, he had moved to work full-time with the JTA as its regional officer in charge of 4 Western parishes. Oh, I didn't know that. The Ministry of Education and Youth has also been advised to consider the tenure of board chairman, former head of the Urban Development Corporation, Joy Douglas, whose involvement in the project was deemed to be inappropriate and operated to circumvent and undermine the authority of the former principal and the bursar. The inquiry was prompted following complaints that Douglas had engaged the services of architect and fine artist Maxine Gibson and engineer Patrick Reese, who were allegedly her friend and associate to conduct renovation work at the school. This was alleged to be done without proper records and without the knowledge and involvement of the other board members. How can you do construction at a school that the whole board don't know about? Then hold another board there. Who job through them hold it? This was the complainant further alleged that the project was expected to be completed in January of 2015 and that Gibson was being paid $100,000 per month and $30,000 for traveling. Oh yeah? But in its investigation, the Integrity Commission said it could not adequately determine value for money, as at the date when the project was supposed to end, the scope of work was not completed. The article here long enough. I want to make you read it all. Alright. Additionally, a site visit in December of that year by the Office of the Contractor General Construction Inspectorate Unit noted several deficiencies in the standard of work, organization, and security. Surprise, surprise. There was also the admitted absence of a bill of quantities for several years of the renovations and construction activities at the Spanish Town High School. Interesting. The IC, the Integrity Commission, further concludes that the total contract sum exceeded the then applicable threshold of $500,000 for the procurement methodology employed. According to the report, this compilation of facts had the effect of undermining the objectives of value for money, accountability, and transparency, which impaired the ability to determine whether the total amount of almost $22 million, which was spent up to the time of termination, reflected value for money. And although the report noted that no compensation was paid to Douglas, it concluded that she acted beyond her powers and contrary to the principles of transparency, accountability, and good governance. The IC is also recommending that all officers at the school who deal with the administration of the procurement process undergo intensive training in public procurement and contract administration. It also proposed training opportunities for all board members of the Spanish Town High to appraise them of their roles. Interesting. Responsibilities and the scope and limitation of their respective authority so as to prevent a recurrence of the breaches of irregularities. Let me say this now. This, again, is just a snapshot of a broad problem affecting schools in Jamaica. I assure you that the Spanish Town High School is but one example in a myriad of situations surrounding questionable spending by bursars and boards in many schools. And if these institutions should be properly audited, if a forensic audit should be done at many schools, many principals, bursars, and board chairmen will go to prison because they continue to find ways to rape the education sector. The education sector that is suffering from malnutrition and starvation and famine already. They find ways to continue to suck from the very little that is there. Who is the gentleman in the top? He's the pilot that died in the plane crash in St. Mary today. Audley Beak, I think his name is. Former JDF member, and he was responsible for the airing reserves during his tenure in the JDF. So he was the pilot for the ill-fated plane that crashed in St. Mary today. Yeah. Them things they are going. And that in itself is a part of the issue affecting education. Because apparently most people in education are more interested in draining the resources than positively affecting the teaching learning process. And I am speaking from a position of knowings. I've seen it. I've heard of it. I've read it. So, the children continue to suffer because those of us who are supposed to looking and administering over their welfare and well-being and progression are siphoning off the resources, limited as they are, for our own social mobility and economic gains. I know a school in particular that definitely requires forensic audit teach them. Linky contractor general man make Pamela send a team over them, man. Pamela and Alessandro do that, you know. Teach, please help me. When a teacher is not paid, which results in the rent, mortgage, light, etc. being late, who pays for the resulting history of bad credit? The teacher. Then nobody else not going to pay for that family. And what you mean, so you mean the last 2 months where some teachers were not paid on time? Or is something more deeper than that? No, last year sometime there was a lot of discussion in the public space about farm workers, especially in Canada, and the working conditions under which they operate. Zane, some people termed it as modern day slavery and thing. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security apparently put together a team there's always a team or a committee, and they were dispatched to Canada to yes, when teachers are not I guess as a teacher I don't think the ministry hold any responsibility for that, to be honest with you. You understand? So a team was dispatched to Canada to observe said conditions. They came back and stated that no such thing. Conditions are okay. I mean, things are not perfect, but it's not what was being said and thing. And apparently, all of Jamaican farm workers are run off of Canada too. I didn't know that was a thing, but there's empirical data to suggest. We can't tell if I top of my head now, but quite a few of them. See, I remember glimpsing an article recently. But some of the farm work of them now, where do the farm work themselves, I say, yo, the report there, didn't report on the report. You understand? A liaison team came here and visited the various farmers to look into conditions. Yeah. The team come back and give what you call that now? What I want to say? Glowing. You understand? Reports. Ex-farm worker rejects report on working conditions in Canada. An ex-farm worker is rejecting the report on working conditions of Jamaican farm workers in Canada, saying it is not a true representation of the facts. I am so surprised. A fact-finding team was appointed last year following complaints by farm workers of poor working conditions in Canada under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program. The team said its overall assessment was that Jamaican farm workers were working under good condition. That's what the team said the conditions were good. It said workers from one of the farms identified in the complaints rejected the notion that slavery-like conditions existed at the location. According to the report, 71% of those surveyed described the treatment from their employer as either good or very good. Nothing wrong with that. When asked specifically if the farm owners treated them with respect, 87% said yes. I wonder what was the sample size. But the ex-farm worker argued that the report is not credible, as farm workers failed to provide truthful information to the team out of fear of being victimized. These people are new, so how can I trust you? I don't know you. I get calls when they were showing up at people's homes. And they said, we know that if we tell them the truth, they will ban us from the program. We have a wide network, you know. It's a network we are running here, he disclosed. He believes farm workers continue to face challenges in Canada because it is a systematic problem. You think people always want to come back on this program? But because they target people who have a need, cannot do without this, cannot live without this. I still have family who come on this program because they have their children to feed. He's not happy. He complains, he gripes, and said he wished things were better, the ex-farm worker insisted. Now, Chris Ramsarop, organizer of Justice for Migrant Workers in Canada, believes the report paints a rosy picture, it's a rosy picture they paint, of disregard and disregards the bad experiences of some farm workers. I understand, yes, the committee only had 2 to 3 weeks to look at this information and to interview workers, but it contradicts over 30 years of academic literature that is examining the different forms and exploitation that exists in this program. Starting in 1990, academics here in Canada were looking at race and racialization and how, that is the word today, is that me right? And how Jamaican black workers were treated differently than white workers, he pointed out. I would like to know what was the sample size for the survey versus how many Jamaicans are actually in Canada working. You understand? And them something. I know, and you see farm workers have it rough enough because not only say the man them gone to Canada, gone work hard. Most of the man them left them wife and girlfriend and baby mother them yard and Joe live there. So everybody in turn Maka juke them. You understand? Canada juke them Joe around their yard. You understand? Some of the man them have 4 youth and then none of the 4 youth enough for them. Your life rough, you know? You don't know life rough? Imagine. you left go work, so you want to take care of your family. You understand? And you left woman here. And me not like that. But teach them, do these teams and committees investigate the conditions of work and live. I don't know any bro. You understand? As I say, I don't know the terms of engagement for the team. And because you only normally hear the final thing and you even hear a breakdown of the thing. You understand what I say? If I start try to get some of these things through access to information, you know, because the whole world knows a farm work rough. Me know people personally go up on farm work already. You understand? And the stories are pretty. So the reporter kind of sounds strange. You understand? But the farm worker them have to work hard. You understand? And then things kind of rough a yard sometimes. Big up to all of the ladies them who keep the thing on a level where the G them gone to America and Canada gone hustle. Big up on yourself. On a queen. You understand what I say? Jaja. Farm work thing they rough, you know. I know farm work away. After them done the farm work thing and then get them migrate or go America and then them have to carry set tax. Kerry, I didn't know you have a farm working spouse that wasn't in the house. Eh? I didn't know these things. And then them decide so them want file for them family. And them have all 4 or 5 youth and the 4 or 5 youth is your next broad. That's rough. You understand? So that way. Me don't like it. Big up to the Empress, them we are hold on a thing. So I know some man then gonna work hard or not keep a thing on a level. You are good girls. You understand? Jaja. Tell us, say. Man then gone for farm work and Joe they run on the yard of farm. Things that are way. Marlon is rough. And I lie to you. You understand? But farm working not easy. Based on what me hear first and experience. As a matter of fact, you know what I mean for though? If anybody will watch do farm work and willing to come on the program, come talk. You not even have to do video call. You can call me on the phone. Or you watch at the yard as a farm working man and you want to share some of your experience. What go on the farm there, make we talk. You understand? Yeah, ship work them, you know, because I remember say, yo, I know ship work them personal thing because it was Ochi. Because when I grew up as boy at Ochi, you know, how the thing set up is that side there. You never really have no whole heap of, you understand, man I left go college. You used to have a few youths who go college and thing. But you know, as you done go high school, you go look work. You know, then you normally go down Adams catering school, go learn waitering or housekeeping, and you go work in a hotel or you go on a ship. You understand? I mean, know them. My name two depend that sitting there. It's a ship thing. Ship card, not for a man who go on ship and come back, build some nice houses, you know. You understand? You have to respect your man them, but say, me never want that. You understand? So I never in an Adams thing. So I'm enough girl did go Adams, you know. So when I time I said I go down Adams school because a girl farm. You understand? You know when time I the young. You understand? I care in this world. You just live. Moonlight, thanks to the contribution. She did gone still, but thanks to the contribution over on PayPal. And I said I go down Adams there because I say I down there girl in there. But I don't want that. So I work it out and go teachers college. I really prefer that. You see me? So the ship thing and the farm work thing rough. But enough people have made life and made a comfortable life, working very hard in both areas, and we respect you want them for that. You understand what I say? Good idea teach them. I would really want to hear. Yeah man, I would have loved to talk to a few farm workers. As I say, you don't have to call in video call if you don't want to show your face. You can call in audio. A phone call, just audio, you understand? And we talk because I want to know who did upon the team that go Canada. You understand? It look like them go ski. You ski, then go ski. Yeah, minute. Jaja. Set away. Then so one funny. Alright. More Jamaicans are dying younger due to non-communicable diseases, NCDs. I think the life expectancy in Jamaica is 75. I think so. I know last time I teach that. I think that was the average life expectancy. That was the life expectancy. Apparently, many Jamaicans are dying long before they get to age 70 and 75. And as such, there are cause of concern. Our lifestyle, zine, our eating habits, our constant drinking and smoking, you understand? With sexual life also too. You see, all of them things add up and a kill we off, like. You understand? More Jamaicans are dying younger due to non-communicable diseases, NCDs. This was revealed by Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton during his contribution to the sectorial debate in the House of Representatives. That may tell us that some very good information came out of these presentations, you know. You understand? Non-communicable diseases, also referred to as lifestyle diseases, include hypertension, diabetes, and forms of cardiovascular diseases. In 2020, NCDs caused the death of more than 16,000 people, or nearly 8 of every 10 deaths for that year. That is alarming. Some 12,747, or 59% of people who died in 2020 died before the age of 75, which is the average life expectancy in Jamaica. Dr. Tufton said a number of people with lifestyle diseases are unaware of their condition. He shared statistics from local studies which show that 236,000, or 9% of the population, have diabetes, but only 106,000 of those people are aware of their status. Similarly, about 679,000, or a quarter of all Jamaicans have hypertension. A quarter of the Jamaican population is hypertensive. Or high blood pressure, which is one of the leading causes of stroke. But the health minister said only about 54%, or 374,000 people, are aware of their status. Dr. Tufton, in advocating for screening as a preventative measure to tackle the effects of NCD, said each member of parliament will be allocated $1 million to conduct screening exercises in their constituency during the fiscal year. He added that the Ministry of Health will be offering discounts to encourage people to get regular checkups under an initiative dubbed Know Your Numbers. I want to tell us a funny enough, you know, I get a little checkup today and everything good like, you understand? Doctor, nice young lady, you know, you understand? He's a nice, healthy big man. So she said, I say, that you say? You understand? As much as I wear glasses, my vision is based on glasses wearing is almost 20/20. We give thanks. You know what I think? You understand? My blood pressure is perfectly normal. You understand? What else then check? So other things. I remember them. You see me? Still need to lose some more weight still. It's a workout again. Well, not really workout yet still. We do some cardio. You understand? Until I start do some hardcore workout. I try shred again and cut. You understand? Yeah, me nah tell you cookie. Ready? You understand? Them things, say everything good, man. You see? I like that. Yeah. So, yes, Lance, so that go on. Jamaican men don't love doctors and all. I don't really love a doctor, neither, but I go there. You understand? From time to time. So we give thanks. So, and when I get older too, so you have to ensure say everything in good working order. Cause say life ain't easy, you know. Today up, tomorrow you're down, you know. Ready for live as a big man, carry what you mean. as a healthy big man, then I could have well say that about. Then you understand? No, let me see. Yeah, man, me get bill last month. Me not get no bill for the month I commit, man. So we are hope and think we are pray. You understand? So that is concerning though. And one of the things too is that you realize that every day a new fast food outlet set up shop at Jamaica because we kind of love the life there. You know, you have the Colonel there from a time. We have Burger King, Wendy's, Popeyes. We have Starbucks. We have, what else we have about there? What me not call? We have Mothers. We have Juicy Beef. We have tea. All of them are fast food. You know? You understand what I say? So we kind of into that and we're not eating clean these days. Plus a lot of the food full of fertilizer and them sitting there to you, man. That's the next thing. We call some things we don't want part to. You see me? So a lot of processed food. You understand? We don't do nothing physical. I mean, sex is not enough physical activity for ward off certain things. You understand? How much sex you have? So every day, so you can have sex every day for keep. Colonel has been here since 1980s, yeah? Pizza Hut and Domino's, I not even remember them party. You understand? So, and the next thing is that some people don't really able to have sex long enough to really make it an exercise, a workout. It's just the truth, where you understand? And everybody, yeah. What? Only need for exercise. If I ever go jog or walk or run or, you understand what I say? I have been wanting to play some football for the longest time. I haven't done that in too long. You understand? The way I love play football, I haven't done that for such a long time. It's really and truly crazy. You see me, some more time, I have to step back a little bit and take a day and then sit there and you just lose some money answer because you can't just work. You understand? I say every day keep calories out. Yes. Cool shit. Big up yourself, and I say a word, man. I say things it up sometime, you know. You see me? So that is and Lance, then me I say some people take it as that. So as the point that I was making is some people believe that the only physical activity them do, and me I say it is not an exercise alternative. No, man, sometimes you have sex and it's a good workout, man. And when you say, man, what you mean, man? Your heart rate up, your whole heap of sweating, and you see me, I say, some calories burn off. You can do a workout, can go on around one part, man. But as me I say, it's not everybody can really go long enough to be a workout. Caribbean expert, one family, everything good. You understand? So I never say it's an exercise in the land. But as I say, some people is only the only physical activity them engage in, and say the engagement not really long enough to really be classified as an exercise. But say it can be an exercise if you know how to make it be an exercise, man. You understand what I say? Me just say, no, me not say me, no, me just say. You understand? Knowing a few things about sex. It can be exerciser, man. But that 2 minutes. Alright, Rosie, that's your word. You understand? Man, Rosie said 2 minutes signal workout. You understand? If you don't want a workout, the 2 minutes can't work out. No, there's a story where when me read it, it reminds me of the Kevin Smith situation. Teacher, right? Someone chat. Sure. Carry the next one. I don't even go to this either. Zane, remind me of Kevin Smith down a Pathways International, where a Kenyan pastor suspected in cult deaths remains in jail. So a court in Kenya on Friday gave police 5 more days to hold a pastor facing possible terror-related charges in the deaths of more than 100 of its congregants, many of whom are believed to have starved to death. Police rescued 15 parishioners from the 800-acre Kilifi County property of Paul Mackenzie last month. So 4 of them died after the group was taken to hospital, and survivors told investigators that the pastor had instructed them to fast to death before the world ends so they could meet Jesus. Sweet Jesus, what a wonder you are. Autopsy, a search of the property located in a remote forested area found more than 100 bodies and dozens of mass graves dug out, authorities have said. No autopsies on the bodies were ongoing, but completed ones showed some of the buried people had died of starvation, strangulation, or suffocation. The pastor was arrested 2 weeks ago for alleged links to cultism. A lower court freed him this week, but he was rearrested and presented to a higher court. Police have said their investigations pointed to signs of radicalization. The court that ordered him held for 5 more days is considering an application for a further 90 days detention. So the pastor was arrested twice before, in 2019 and in March of this year, in connection with the deaths of children. He was released on bond both times, and those cases are still proceeding through the court system. I tell you. You understand? No. You see, for the big people, them will starve for themselves to death, then they're on them own. But say, you see the situations where children are made to be a part of these things, children who can't choose for themselves because they are not given the authority to, and parents decide said them picnic go starve to death too because they want to see Jesus, them nothing live. You understand what I say? How can you subject a child to these things? If you want to starve yourself to death, or tell man to cut your throat to resurrect you, then fine, go do your thing. But you can't get the children them involved in these things. I want to come up with that. I don't understand. And then you have people who defend these people, you know, brother. I mean, I tell you, some man pose under the guise of religion, bruh. 100 odd people starve themselves to death because pastors said them when them died, them are going to see Jesus. As I said that, you know, Kenya is a strange place, you know, because I remember leading up to Easter, a man in Kenya said him is the Kenyan Jesus. You understand? He has been going around saying he's Jesus. And then say, all right, since I say Jesus, come time there. I went then he crucified Jesus. Good Friday, I don't remember, but in a Easter time there. I want to remember these things I fight up our head. The dog then said them crucify Kenyan Jesus, and Kenyan Jesus said, I don't depend on that. The man go station, go report here and then. So I don't know what come on him. You understand? So the man them say, so Kenya, some strange things are going on another part, you know. Take bad things. Yo. I read the article once. I say, then brother the same as Jesus and then he run from the cross. Then that don't make no sense. You shall rise again and be with your father in heaven. Yeah? So your story go. Then what change? That now keep again. Yeah, no. Kenyan thing set away. Miss Chin, good night. Go on. You understand? Jamaica, no same-sex marriage to be sanctioned locally, says Chuck. You understand? So Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has moved to clear the air on the issue of same-sex marriage in Jamaica, declaring that the government does not and has no intention of supporting the practice. Chuck spoke to the issue on Tuesday during his contribution to the 2023-2024 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives, where he disclosed that there have been an increase in the number of applications. I didn't even know that people apply for these things around here, you know. An increase in the number of applications for same-sex marriages. Despite the fact that such unions are not recognized in Jamaica. He told the House that last year we issued 8,313 marriage license. And we provided the Minister of Finance or the Tax Administration of Jamaica with $33,252,000. We are doing well. Sir. Everything about things we're joking up. But we don't mind more marriages, so we can provide more money to the Ministry of Finance. We enjoy when people come for their marriage license because it means that a family will be created, hopefully, or at least husband and wife. Chuck added. He also revealed that there has been an increasing number of marriage applications from the LGBTQ community. But he suggested that the government will not be taking any steps to legalize such unions on the island. Let it be clear, we do not support same-sex marriages as yet. However, the truth of the matter is that people have been coming, asking us for a marriage license for same-sex. This at the moment is not permissible, Chuck declared. He said the Justice Ministry continued to provide ministers' marriage licenses for walk-in applications as well as those for the hotels. And the ministry is able to complete the process within 24 hours. Long story short. Me know if you know, man. Me know I'm going on Jim Jones' younger brother. The Watcher, Calvin. Where you deal with the youth? Glad to see the man. Hope all is well now. Gunners boss. Ask the Catholic Church with their policies of no boys behind left. Jaja. And things. So Chuck said that now keep around here. You understand? None of them marriage now go on. But me never know some people actively apply for license for these things, to be honest with you. And now telling a lie. I find that a little bit surprising. You understand? But you know one thing, everybody look out for them thing and push for them agenda. And these things. That a go on. I saw a situation where so you know the People's National Party is trying to get themselves together from the hiding that they took at the last general election. You understand? And I think that party is still deeply divided and there are still wounds that are not healed or steps haven't been taken to heal them. But I saw where Peter Bunting saying he will not be contesting the central Manchester seat next election. That's not surprising because I don't see how Bunting would be able to defeat Rhoda May Crawford up there. So based on some of the stuff that I've seen she has done since she go up there, so and the people them and Bunting never get along from the beginning. So I don't know where Bunting is heading. Bunting is hoping to be stunting next election. I don't know if he has identified a particular seat that he done. He wrote a letter to Mark Golding saying he will not be signing the Integrity Commission political code of conduct. I don't read it still, but I know him right that. I was very surprised that he wrote the letter to Mark Golding and it became public. I think my Mark couldn't talk about that. I don't know. Also, we saw, generally, based on my understanding how this thing works, is that delegates normally select the political representative for each constituency. The opposition leaders decided that they will use internal constituency polls to decide who is the most popular candidate for the constituency. So apparently in Southeast St. Catherine, where Alaric Campbell, I think his name is, he's a deputy mayor, and Dr. Alfred Dawes were supposed to be contesting to be the representative of the party for the next election. The poll was done apparently, and Clark won the poll. He based on the polling, he was the preferred choice of the people. However, the same party leader who said they might use internal poll decides that them now but I use the poll result, he might go select Dawes. Apparently, the constituency office for Southeast St. Catherine was set ablaze, allegedly by disgruntled people who were in support of Hines and him being shunned, even though he won the poll that them say them a use. I'm confused. Also in Southeast, St. and Southeast, where Lisa Anna will not be contesting the next election, there are 3 candidates down there. I know Wave Alliance is one. I know Patricia Duncan Sutherland is another. I don't remember the third person. Them decides them they're going to use pool down there, but then Lisa make some nice and the people them down there make some nice. Them say them going to do a runoff. So I don't know. These are some own goals being scored by the PNP. They were starting to get a little momentum based on some polls recently. And the government has been faltering with corruption and scandals and mismanagement and all sorts of things. And the Prime Minister would have lost some political capital with the public sector restructuring situation, all sorts of things. I don't know. So, strange. So, we like to sit and look at the politics and say, oh, that and that. But it's very strange. So, is either you're going to decide you're going to do the thing. I don't know. You can't. I don't know. They have to work out them things. But as I've always said, in order for good governance to exist in Jamaica, you need a strong opposition, whether it's green or orange or vice versa. It don't really matter. Whoever is in opposition, the stronger the opposition party, the stronger the alternative, and it keeps governments on their toe. Because I suspect that the Prime Minister was not expecting that his favorability rating would have dropped so significantly in such a short period of time, and that the PNP would seem to be gaining. You understand? Interesting times ahead. Zimi. So, I'm not even bother report them things then I know. Because we can't bother with the politics. The part there. You understand? So I go on. One of them part. Yeah. And things. So, yeah, I suppose so. Teach, not in my cabinet. Mr. Chuck better know that. You understand? Yeah, man. Oh, I saw also where in St. Elizabeth Northeast, I think, where Kern Spencer is believed to be the choice of the party. Zeluka Jess, who normally contests Clarendon Central, Mike Henry constituency. She has opposed Mike Henry for a few election cycles. She went down there, but apparently it's Kern's turn. You understand? I don't know how a man who aspires to be the leader of Jamaica, as in the opposition leader, sees it fit to have. First thing, Kern is a chairman for region. I'm not sure region what. You understand? And I've said it before, even though Kern was never convicted of anything, in good conscience, Kern should never be involved in politics in Jamaica actively again. Never. See him how me feel about where brother the name from Petrojam, Minister of Energy there, Andrew Wheatley. Andrew a MP, so I people them decide that part there, but he should never be given any cabinet responsibilities in the future. But we watch and see these things. Like, I don't understand. I can't understand as a man where you come tell the country say you want to lead them. You are actively support. I see the opposition leader and Kern Spencer walk up and down in a constituency down there. Like, how can you want to be the leader of Jamaica and you are supporting the candidacy of Kern Spencer? That don't make no sense to me. You understand? But anyways, time will tell how these things work out. You understand? And I was thinking the same thing, Teach. Even though he was found not guilty, there is a stigma attached to Spencer. And I must say acquittal don't mean not guilty, and acquittal mean you weren't convicted. You understand? So we not confuse them neither. So I don't know. But it's always interesting to look at the politics. I am hearing that the Prime Minister is possibly considering a cabinet reshuffle, a mid-cycle reshuffle, to kind of you understand, put some vim, vigor, and vitality leading up to the next election, because based on the reports, there are suggestions that some ministers have not been pulling their weight. I think a few ministries were mentioned. I think agriculture was mentioned. I don't hear nothing about the Ministry of Security. Strange. So we are watching and see. You see, I think there was an attempt also recently to get a senator on the government side to take up a diplomatic post overseas, because apparently the Prime Minister wants to install another senator. So all of these things are not confirmed. Like, we see these things and we read it. Minister of Labour was mentioned as well. But it's obvious, like the whole security debacle recently alone, Carl Samuda should be relieved of his duty. That is just the truth. You understand what I say? And people are saying that there are some decisions that the Prime Minister has to make, but then he also have to be mindful, because some of these men are important to re-election and them something there. I don't know. I wonder if Mike Henry will run again. I think Warmington says not going to be running again. I think Horace Chang will be stepping away. I'm not sure who else. But yes, as I say, we keep an eye on these things. You understand? Because, it's part and parcel of the governance of the country and stuff. But I am very annoyed by some things sometimes with the political process and politicians and all. Some more time, no thing go. Yeah. Warmington and one brother down at Portland Eastern kick off or some councillor brother are sitting. Sure. I know, yeah. Yeah, man, apparently he's the attack dog for the party. And he is above reproach, I suppose, because I've never seen him being sanctioned or reprimanded. We'll never hear him, I don't know. Jamaica, yeah? Thwarted. Yeah, peeps. I guess I'm going to leave you tonight, I'm all night together. I have been here from 8:30 at 2 hours that. I call it a night. You understand? And these things. But big up on yourself for there. Yeah, man like the watcher. Glad to see the one. For the people that were there, week in, week out, we are trying to build back the stream. You understand? Because we kind of make it wash down the stream. Seeing, but say we are trying to bring it back upstream. You understand what I say? And say we just a try, because me full of tune, Me full of tune.
Yeah, this is nature. Ellis represented for extra class scene. We teach them.
I have a sneaky suspicion that the farmer army chief maybe after
Piece
the
of
political
extra
position.
class story. Yeah. A piece of my life. A piece of my life. Hey, teach them, I give them the story. Hey, watch you now. Extra class control country. Lock the place in the city. To deal with
I try to speak of yourself,
Did not have a place to stay, but I pray to Jah for a better day. Hey, teach them never stray.
You know what I want?
For the trying man.
Yeah, man, I mean that.
And trying no man. Working for a better situation. Extra class is for the trying man. And trying no man. Working hard for a solution. Yeah. Yes, some do domestic work, some are lawyer, doctor, some hustle in the streets. They all agree extra class is unique.
Wanna hear that?
When the rain fall, the roof leaks. One pair of shoes on my feet. Extra class rise us up, let us stand on our feet. And I say, yes, extra class gone out on a plane. Yes, I elevate the people brain. Let them keep firm and strong.
Nature, let's speak up yourself and win at the world of them, my brother.
Yes, extra class is the number one. Teach them full of style and pattern. Yes, teach them have a wonderful selection.
When I say farmer, I'm chief, I mean General Rocky Mead.
And try no man.
I don't know, Andrew just has cut out some wall and try to fit him in a yasa.
Extra class is the number one champion. Broadcasting for the solution.
Yeah, peeps, big up on yourself. Have a wonderful weekend. You understand? Big up to the people them who did in the premiere for Junior Vibes interview. I never did there. You understand? I was otherwise engaged, so I never get to engage the viewers. So my apologies for that. I trust that you enjoyed it. As I said that, Junior comes today, I get to talk to him. I need to link him back, You understand? I say, peeps, big up on yourself, You understand? To you and yours, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. You understand? I say, get some rest. Do look exercise. You understand? And try to eat clean. You see? Because I want life, And as Scarjell say, na, life sweet. You see it? Yeah, man, for the people that want to check in late, I did play one tune earlier. I go play back and leave. You understand me? I say, big up to the ones them where keep on trying to let their voices be heard. They try, you know what I mean, for create a better Jamaica nearly 2 years in their own little niche, in their own little corner. You understand me? I say, big up to the ones them. The fight for continue. You understand? We need well-thinking, hard-working, visionary people to make this country. You understand me? I say? And thing. You see? Teach how many dubs you get? 1 million? No. Just a few. But I work on it, man. You understand? So I say, nature again, big up yourself, You see? Every time.
Extra class of the right vibes.
So I play 2 tune and cut. Great creation. Big up yourself every time, and brother. Be impressive. Empire and Cruise and Tour. One of the man them with the loyal to the thing. I know you're busy enough time, but you have to still find some time. You know what I mean? Freedom.
Extra class come for free the dumb, so that they can speak. Yeah. Free the dumb. Yeah. Freedom. Extra class come for free the dumb. You should be free to speak. Yeah.
And peace, more to go check out the songs. So I'm not just play the song them for the stream. You understand? I work the artist and I work said way. So you don't know Freedom. Trying man, World Peace, Nature Ellis, Spotify, iTunes.
You can't make life and no still I take life. Say you a murderer one day you must pay the price. Life is so hard. Every day we see ghosts. You gotta live it up right. Are you wicked? Gondo. If it's not by police, it's by gunman. That's the way it goes.
Jaro say my wife I request pinchers. You know say quite a few times we try and it just not happen yet. The great man I say I'm not ready, So you know what time? Things take a little time. Yeah man, the bundle here one of them time. It happen, man. Just give me some time.
Chaparita and she uncle. Your back our chain also the bangle. All wrong doers won't forget trample.
We no want no more bloodshed. We no want no more youth dead.
Look at Jamaica where we love, bring it back to what it was. Too much youngsters and thugs and AKs and slugs. Take a look at the rainbow. Let your sorrows and pain go. You can't make life and no still I take life. Say you a murderer one day you must pay the price. Mama ain't born up again. Papa can't stand up again. One son them have them kill him round a Christian pen and him at just 26, now reach 27. We don't want no more bloodshed.
We don't want no more of that.
We don't want no more youths dead. Look at Jamaica where we love, bring it back to what it was. Too much youngsters and thugs and AKs and slugs. Take a look at the rainbow. Let your sorrows and pain go.
See the culture of these young men is guns and more guns instead of uplifting themselves. It's like Finara introduced the next song. Finara said, you see the culture of these young men is guns and more guns instead of uplifting themselves. But you see for them youth there, but just have a little advice. You see me?
Teach them, uplift them, educate them.
I just want to left it, you know. Dirty cup, big up
Elevate
yourself, you know. Man has a respect every time, you know.
Global.
For the people that want to watch, big up on yourself.
Logical,
Terry Ganzi, big up yourself in the way of the world there.
Political. Touch some issues about economical, plus judicial. A lot of people are stressed out, so emotional. Let it go. You know what Terry Ganzi represent. Teach them.
Whoa.
Teach them.
Bad artist.
Little advice to be a better man in life.
Just a little advice. Gun is not the only choice.
Oh no.
Little advice. Me know the suffering no nice.
Tell them teach.
Play it back again.
Teach them. Uplift them, educate
Please
them.
big up on yourself, you know.
Motivate
Me I
them.
go to bed.
Elevate them.
I'm going to play with that real little bit until he go sleep and then we go hold some sleep. You see what I say? Yeah, man. Big up guys anywhere in the world in there.
Political. Touch some issues about economical.
One of my favorite gangs of this. I don't really know it, but I'm a tune.
People are stressed out.
Tune and I really release officially.
So emotional.
But I just love it.
Let it go.
Thinking him do it for Jeremy and Jeremy and I release it. And some of the producers still, me I look into it. I love it. Tune I can't steal.
Little advice. Be a better man in life. Just a little advice. God is not the only choice. Oh no. Little advice. Me know the suffering no nice. Tell them, teach them. Just a little advice. So when you do what you do, think twice.
Teach them.
Yeah.
We're up, work me there.
I know the
Manners.
going through such hard times. Now it seems living as a poor is a crime. No youth eyes open but mentally blind. The system infected the right frame of mind. Lost in a corruption of good use get twine. Just to
Yeah, body with him. You all kete jump.
the Holy Bible for them is
Off your rock something. Shake your head or your foot or your shoulder something.
Little advice to be a better man in life. Tell them, teach them. Little advice. Me know the suffering no nice. Reach them. Just a little advice. God is not the only choice. Oh no. Little advice. So when you do what you do, think twice. Yeah. Neglect the task of reality is such cruel luck. Many striver who know it and do it naturally, innocent to slaughter and you kidnap.
Ras Blanc, big up yourself in the family.
Mentally shock or you fear up and kill a lady then. One on a shop, kill up one a friend. If one dumpling in at the pot, have so much guns and evil can't buy shot. All I run from police, what are the whole place still locked. Look at that, teacher is back. Just a
Little advice.
to be a better man in life. Oh God, yeah.
Little
Advice. We know the suffering no nice. No. It is good to eat from thy own vineyard. Remember, thou shalt not steal from thy neighbor's yard. Filthy some become squirrel the city like dogs. 10, 11, 12, every day gonna mag. No funeral a keep, every day in the week without equal rights and justice. There'll be no peace, no matter how them come with them soldier and police. Remember what? Those who wish shall reap. Legal advice. So when you do what you do, when you do what you do, do what you do, when you do what you do, think twice. Teach them legal advice to be a better man in life. Oh yeah.
The thing with some of the tune, I have some other tune in it, but I running at some copyright issue because some of the man them still use a TV track when them are recorded, don't play them. You know, although we try for, you know what I mean, show them the vibes there. You understand? The Sasko, you might forget about that. You understand? Because that is a problem with that. The Jamil, we are one of my favorite tune where, you understand what I say? and thing, but you know what thing go. As we have said, 2 African brothers in Sudan, wanna cut out the foolishness. You see me I say? Kill off no one another for power. The military, a fight against the military technically. You understand? Innocent people are die. Over 80 the same thing. And Jamaica, all of the place some of the man them fight for foolishness. Wanna cut that out, man. See me I say? There's more to life than killing one another. For what?
Yeah, this is nature, Ellison. When I look in the east, west, north, and south, I want program control all about, and it is extra class. Yeah, if you're not into extra class, you don't know you must be lost. Yeah, talking about the host. World peace in the southwest, north, and east. World peace, extra class is fighting for a world peace. Extra class wants the violence cease. Yeah, this is nature, Ellis. Representing for extra class. Yeah, if you're not into extra class, they must be lost.
I hear that. Jamaican man, I'm fight over zinc fence and bad roads. Boy, me I tell you. So peeps, me have one more tune. I know my favorite dub plate. It's a light here. It on the Jamil, but the Jamil we can't play it because a copyright issue. So him don't mean to give him about that. But you have to big up my godfather, you know, my grandfather, you know, my granduncle, my uncle, my big brother. You understand? I'm gonna treat me like I'm son. We give thanks to that. And I know a man from Adams, man, I know me with us. Just the vibes and the energy, right? And it's like I'm a father. You understand what I say? Peeps.
5 and 4, 9 and Mr. 1 make 10. The Admiral Tibet as Mr. Reality introducing to you. Teach them, no matter how far them they are reach them. Listen to this.
J. Richards, thanks for the contribution over on PayPal there.
We are living in a serious time.
I don't want to come out with it now. Peace, man, so big up on yourself. You know, I appreciate the support. Mr. Tibet, talk to them.
It's so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. 5 and 4, 9 and Mr. 1 make 10. The Admiral Tibet as Mr. Reality introduced.
Have to play it again. Too big to play one time. You know what I mean?
Them they are reach them. Listen to this. Classic. We are living in a serious time. Yes. Don't let the devil blow your mind. The time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. Yes. He's only in the Father. Teach them put his trust. The time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous.
Move.
Said all over the world, everyone is in a heated rush. On a bet, it's not everything good for eat, good for talk. I don't just know shadows after dark. They will walk and talk it.
The ones them enjoy the weekend answer. You know the thing go. Walk good. Step with Jah. Save trouble upon the gravel. Appreciate the ones them and the support, you know what I mean?
Cantankerous and dangerous. He's only in the Father. Teach them put his trust. The time is so serious.
You need to get a couple more Tibetan there, a couple more tunes there, you know what I mean?
Said all over the world, everyone is in a heated rush. I'm always on the alert because I know that my life is worth. No one will push me around. I'm standing firm and judge ground. People dying for hunger, and the little children got no mother nor no father, no. Nothing to earn. The more they live is the more they learn. The time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. Yes. He's only in the Father. Teach them Buddhist trust.
People, good night. Take care. See you soon. Big interview Tuesday. I don't call the name. I'm out. Look more. Real Son Clark, big up yourself.